Welcome to the video on passive range of motion in the dog. This is Freya. She is going to help us demonstrate today how to do passive range of motion. She has a hip issue on both legs, so you'll see as we go that she might be a little resistant for the back end stuff, but no worries, we'll just go slow and take it at her pace, as you should with your dog as well. You want to make sure that your dog is comfortable. I like to get down on the floor with them, as that seems to be the most comfortable spot and the most level ground. You can also do it on the bed, on the couch, as long as you have enough space and they're on a fairly level surface. You will want to start with a gentle warm-up of the muscles and the joints. It can be as simple as a basic massage technique or just technically rubbing, just as long as it's done gently. I find the best method for this is to use a massage technique. You'll want to keep your fingers together as it is less distracting. Gently place your hands on the dog and just glide back and forth over the legs and the joints. We will start with front leg passive range of motion. This is the shoulder joint. This is the elbow joint. And this is the wrist joint in a dog. As we perform passive range of motion, you want to keep in mind that you want the leg to be level with all of the joints. So you want it to be parallel to the ground rather than sloping down at a natural angle, because that can be irritating when you're trying to do range of motion on the joints. Keeping the leg level will allow better movement as well as keep the dog comfortable. We're going to start with extension of the shoulder joint. So what we're doing here is just moving the leg forward towards the head, very gently. You want to hold it for a few seconds and then bring it back down. Give it a few seconds in the natural position, a little positive reinforcement, and do it again. I like to repeat each motion about 3 times. There is no magical number, and just hold it for a few seconds at a time. We'll do it one more time here. Perfect. A little positive reinforcement there. And now we're going to do flexion of the shoulder joint. So that is the shoulder joint again. We're going to support the leg as we did before. And we're going to gently bring it back. And again, only go as far as your dog feels comfortable. Take it at their pace and don't force anything. We'll do it one more time here. And if your dog doesn't want to go very far, doesn't want to go as far, it's perfectly okay. Once again, take it as far as they're comfortable, hold it for a few seconds, and let them go. Now we are going to perform full flexion. So we're going to flex the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. So we're going to bring it towards the body. You want to support the whole leg. You're going to gently bend everything together. And hold it there. And again, only go as far as your dog will allow. Go ahead and extend back to a natural position. If you push past the natural position a little bit, you get this, which is a full extension of all the joints. And Freya's apparently doing great with it. Full extension there again. Flexion one more time. Now we are going to go ahead and perform abduction of the leg. So that is the midline or the middle of the body. We're going to abduct, meaning move away from the body. So we're going to gently flex the leg just because that's going to be more comfortable for her. It doesn't have to be flexed all the way. We're going to gently pull the leg away from the center of the body. And as you can see, this is not uncomfortable. And once again, you will only go as far as your dog will allow. Going to go back to the natural position, let it relax, and go ahead and do it again. And you can hold each position a little bit longer than I'm holding it in this video. This is for demonstration purposes. Normally, I'd give her a few seconds in each position, so just a little bit longer. One last time here. What you never want to do is just grab the leg and pull it towards the body. because then you're not providing any support to the leg. Providing support is important whenever you're doing any kind of range of motion. She's doing great. You can even do a little range of motion on the toes. The toes bend just like in people. You ideally bend one at a time. It's easy to bend the two middle ones together. Just be careful and pay attention to your dog. Again, only go as far as your dog is comfortable. You can also extend the toes as such. Again, all very gentle, all within the dog's comfort level. If your dog is uncomfortable with the toes and would probably bite, I recommend avoiding working on the toes. We're going to go ahead and warm up the back leg here. You want to make sure that as you go, just like with the front leg, you support the entire leg rather than letting the joints kind of hang towards the floor. Supporting the leg will make the whole process a lot more comfortable and a lot more effective, and you're less likely to injure your dog. Once again, we're going to go ahead and support the whole leg. And we're going to go ahead and do motion. This is the hip joint. This is the knee joint. This is the hock or the ankle. And obviously the toes. First, we're going to do extension of the hip. So you gently pull the leg back. If your dog starts rotating the leg out, you will want to go ahead and pause at a position where the dog doesn't feel the need to rotate the leg out. We're going to bring it back to normal position. And we repeat. Again, if your dog is rotating its leg out, so pointing the knee towards the sky, that means it's uncomfortable with going that far, so you just bring it back a notch. We're going to do it one more time here. Again, I like to go about 3 times, hold it for a few seconds, and then move on. Now we're going to flex the hip joint. So when we're flexing the hip joint, we're keeping the other joint straight and just gently flexing the whole straight leg forward. Freya doesn't always like that just because she's got some issues with her hips, so we're going to go nice and slow, nice and gentle, and only go as far as she's comfortable. When you are doing this, make sure that the hand that is closest to her belly is not blocking you from being able to move any farther forward. Once again, you want to go ahead and go a little slower than we're going in this video. This is mostly for demonstration purposes. We're going to go ahead and now flex the legs, so the knee, the hock, and the hip are all going to bend towards the body. We're going to hold that for just a few seconds here and then bring it back out. We will go ahead and repeat that a few more times, but before we do, I want to remind you not to grab the leg and simply pull towards the body from one spot without supporting. You want to make sure you continue to support the whole leg. This is very important. Now, as we did with the front leg, we're going to abduct the hip away from the body as well. So move it away from the middle line of the body. First, we're going to give slight flexion. It doesn't have to be all the way. We're going to turn the leg outside towards us and away from the dog's middle of the body. As you can see, this is pretty comfortable for her. With your dog, once again, do only as far as your dog will allow. We're going to give her a break, and now do it again. Now we are going to go ahead and work on the toes. Just as with the front toes, you want to bend one at a time. They will all bend together just a little bit. Just try to make a conscious effort. No need to try to separate the toes. Just kind of let them bend naturally. And you can also extend the toes as such. I'll go ahead and show you how to do that on your hand, just for demonstration purposes. So the toes on the dog bend just at that first joint. that's basically the motion you want to use. Again, their anatomy is a little different, but that's the motion you are using. And nice and gentle with the toes. Once again, if your dog really doesn't like the toes being messed with, go ahead and skip the toes. This pretty much concludes it. A nice reward pet and lots of rubbing, lots of love for Freya for being an awesome demo dog. If you have any questions, let us know.